Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Omar from the Bullish Bears team. Wanted to create a video, two videos. This is gonna be the first of two. This video is gonna be about creating, just literally creating my custom scanners and my indicators via thinkorswim. So after I have a previous video that I did on this. Um, I belong to the Bullish Bears team, which in Facebook it's a private group. You just search start stock market community, and you can put in a request to join, and we'll accept you. It's about almost 4,100 members now. We started when I joined this group. It was like 30 members at the time. It's pretty incredible how much we've grown. I think this group will be, somewhere between 10 and 20,000 by the end of the year, maybe more. And it's great. It's for all types of traders that do all types of trading. Some people day trade, people options trade, some people swings trade, some people do forex, some people do futures, dividends trading, and all levels. From beginners, people who never traded before, to advanced traders. Look, somebody here just joined the group and they ask some questions, and look at all the feedback they're getting. Everybody's super helpful, and everything's free. Okay, no, there's no charges for anything. And we also have a YouTube page. If you go to YouTube and an Instagram and a Twitter, but this YouTube page is where we house all the actual educational material. So here, if you go to the playlist, you just search Bullish Bears on YouTube, and you can see like all the different types of actual educational materials. I mean, you can get a whole tutorial on options trading from end to end, swing trading, day trading. I have my own personal videos here, Omar's Momentum Trading, where I teach about my strategy. And if you go in here, you're gonna see I do have.
Have you heard of the London daybreak strategy?
You're gonna have this custom scan setup that I use for thinkorswim, and I created this back in December. I've gotten better since then. So I kind of wanted to create another video, just building everything out from scratch, that I thought would be very helpful for the group. Or anyone who's new to trading. I mean, I'm self-taught. Seriously, I'm self-taught. I just watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos from a whole bunch of traders, and that's how I kind of learned how to trade. To be quite honest with you, and you just kind of just study charts all day, and you can kind of pick it up. So so the purpose of this video is to build everything out. So now I'm in the active account right now, and I'm gonna just build everything from scratch. So the first thing that I want to talk about is building your scanners, because day traders, I mean, what you usually want to do is you want to build a watch list the night before or the morning of, to have some stocks that you kind of gotta want to, you have a sense that you want to trade. But a lot of times you're not going to have anything that you're going to want to trade on your watch list, or your watch list is going to be a dud. And day traders find stocks to trade based on scanners. That's how you find your plays. So what I want to do is build my scanners, the scanners that I use in thinkorswim, where I find all my plays, and I've been pretty successful with this. You don't need to spend money theoretically on scanners. I mean, you could get like a trade ideas, which I would recommend if you're going to purchase one. But you can get it. It's all free. You don't even need to open an account with real money, like to have a thinkorswim account, which is amazing. So this is how I do this, right? You're gonna notice when you log in, you're gonna get this basic watch list here on the side, and this is all gonna be black. That's the default color, but you can change the colors. That's the only thing I'm not gonna show you how to do, because in order for me to show you that, I would have to go into a section in here where it would show my account number, which I'm not gonna do. So, but I'll talk you through how you would do it. It's very simple. But the first thing you want to do is build out your scanners and then work on your indicators. So to build your scanners, it's a lot of ways to do this. You can go to scan, and in scan it gives you this default criteria, okay? And what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna go right up here to the right hand side, and you're gonna go where you're gonna click on actually you're going to go to where, yeah, you're gonna click load scan query, and you're gonna go to create scan query. And from here, you're going to name it. So this scan, this first scan, this is the scan where I build my watch list from. And actually, I find most of my plays, to be quite honest with you. So I'm going to call this nightly scan. Even though I use this when the market opens to find my plays, as well as night run my scan. And it gives you these default stock criteria. I'm going to leave these as they are. I'm just going to change the actual filter that I'm looking for. So what I look for generally is last, meaning the last price, and the range of the stocks that I look for are between 20 cents and $30. That's my range. Now you can make your range however you want. So 20 cents and $30. Well, you can make multiple scans, for different price ranges. You can do scans for under $1, scans between $1 and $5, scans for between $100 and $1,000, whatever you want. But this is my primary scan, all right? And then volume, all right? I like to search for stocks with a minimum of 500,000 shares traded, okay? No max, all right? And then the percentage, I usually like it to be at 5% or higher. 5% and no max, all right? Now, I'm going to hit save, all right? So when I hit save, I can pull that scan. So I go back here, I go to load scan. Now you're gonna get an option that says personal. When you get personal, you're gonna see nightly scan. And when I hit the scan button, there goes all my plays. So 83 stocks appear in this under this criteria. And I'm gonna build a second video kind of looking through these and finding my plays. And then what you do is, once you have your scan here, if you wanna have it on the side here so you can look for plays, you can come here and you click on this and you go to personal, and then you go right here to your nightly scan, and there you go. That's my scan. That's this here over here. If I just click the change filter, DFFN, if I do the same here, I can filter by whatever one, and here it is. All right, and then I can go to charts, and what you got to do is you got to link it in order to see it. So you can link it to whatever color you like. So let's say I choose red here, and I choose red here now, and I can drag this down if I want, and I can just click the chart and I get this. Now I have indicators here already. I'm gonna delete all this so that, let me go to my study. I didn't delete it. I should have deleted it so you can see how it would look. I have those. I'm gonna show you how we set this up from scratch, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to studies and I'm gonna go to delete study. So I'm gonna delete all my studies now, so you can see that there's gonna be nothing here. Delete, so I can build this out from scratch. So you can see what it really looks like. Delete, and now watch when I go and click a chart. That's strange. Why is it still? All right, let's uncheck that on link, and let's go to studies. Remove all studies. There we go. All right. Okay. All right, and now this is what it would look like, because I haven't built. So you see, when I click a stock, now it shows you the chart. I have not built out my indicators yet. So at this point, this is what it looks like, and this is kind of how you do it. Now, this is not the only scan I use, but this is the primary scan that I use to find my plays. So we're gonna build a couple of others. So I'm gonna go back to scan, and you don't need to go back to scan. You can actually do it this way if you want. You can go here, you can go create. If you want to do it from here, you can go create scan query, and you can same thing, and you're gonna need to give it a name. Now, a couple of other scans that I use. I like to use the scanner also. That's really good at the market open to find like stocks that are gapping up and stocks that are gapping down. This one that I love, it's called 2-candle gap scan, and that's what it is. It looks for scans that close in the green. All right, close going up over a 2-minute period, and I'll show you how I do that. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do last, okay, and the same criteria. All right, I'm gonna do 30 cents. Oops, let me change that. I'm gonna do 0.30, and I'm sorry, 0.20. I'm sorry, I like to do 20 cents. 20 cents and $30. Okay. And the volume, now I'm going to lower the volume, because for this, I want to be able to find stocks that are moving quickly at the open. So I'm going to do my volume range. I'm going to make it, matter of fact, let's do 300,000 shares. All right, and no max. And then the change, instead of the 5%, I'm going to make this 1.5%, because I want to catch stocks that are moving right at the open. Okay, now what you're gonna notice is you can add other filters for stocks, for options, for studies, and fundamental filters. We're gonna focus on study for this. This is a really powerful. Now when you click on study filter, by default it's gonna give you the study add crossover, what you got to do is you got to click on the drop down, and then you got a whole bunch of studies here. I mean, this gets very complex, and there's like several thousand, there's just so many different things you can do here, right? But I'm gonna keep this simple. The one that I like the most, and I find the most convenient for me, is price performance. And within price performance, I like to go to where it says price direction. So in this study, it's gonna say you have different options. You have close, open. You have this shit. I don't even know what this means, to be honest with you. You have VWAP, volume. You can make it by volume, by open interest, implied volatility, tick count. I don't know any of that other stuff means. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just like to keep things simple. So I want to do the close has increased over the last 2 consecutive bars on the 1-minute chart. The reason why I like to use the 1-minute chart, and this is including extension after hours as well. The reason why I like to use the 1-minute chart is because when you're day trading and you're trading, low cap penny stocks like I do, the volatility happens quickly, and you want to catch the play right when it's about to happen. So that's why I use the 1-minute chart. But the time frame, you can do this on a 2-minute, a 3-minute, a 5-minute, a daily, a weekly, a monthly. It's whatever you want. Okay. I like to use the 1-minute. That's what I would suggest if you're gonna day trade. So once you do that, you hit save. And now, if you wanted to add that scanner on this side, you would click this little plus button here, add gadget. And then you got all these different gadgets you can add. I'm just gonna focus on the things that I'm teaching you today, which is a watch list. So you're gonna click on watch list. And when you click on watch list, it's gonna give you this default. You're gonna click on the drop down, you're gonna go to personal, and you're gonna click on 2-candle gap scanner. And you have the 2-candle gap scanner, and you can scroll this down and up and stuff. And remember, if you wanted to pull here, so like if I click now, AIRG, you see it's not pulling in. Why? Because I have to link the color to match. So if I click the color, there you go. Now when I click AIRG, it pulls up that chart. Okay? All right? And the way this theoretically works was, let's say the market opened, all right? If it falls in that criteria, once it starts gapping up, this stock would have appeared on my criteria once it closed here, because it has 2 consecutive candles that go into the green. All right. So at here, this would have popped up on my scanner. All right, initially. All right. And that's sort of how that works. All right. So that way you can find stocks that are moving. So like for example, a stock like this DFM, as soon as this closed here, that stock would have appeared on this scanner. Okay, if it had the volume, it has to meet the volume and percentage criteria. Because remember, I have, and let's pull it up. So you click this drop down, you go hit a load, you go to personal, and you go to 2-candle gap scanner right there. And remember, it has to fit this criteria in order for it to pop up here. So, but I like to do that because that way I find those plays right when the market opens. Like for example, if I would have had CRPB and the market opened, if it met the volume and percentage criteria, it would have popped up right at the close of this candle right here. And then they just, then you can see it, you can ride it up. You can see whether or not you want to jump in. So I love this 2-candle gap scan. It's great, and I do the same for the opposite. So not only do I like to find plays that are gapping up at the open, I also like to see stocks that are selling off at the open, because you may want to short a stock, or you may want to dip buy a stock. I mean, you watch a stock kind of sell off and then find its support level and then buy the dip, on the bounce back up. So let's create that scan. So we're going to go back to scan. Now, you don't really need to go to scan. Obviously, you can honestly go to scan, or you can do it from here. You can go straight here. You can go create scan query, or the same thing from here. You can go here and you can go to load scan query and go create scan query. Either way, it's gonna bring you, it brings you to the same place. All right. So I did one from here. I'll do another one from here just to show you. Load scan query, create scan query. Okay. So now I'm gonna call this 2-candle dip buy. 2-candle, dip. 2-candle dip buy scan. All right. Okay, so that's the title. Now we're gonna do the same criteria range. So we're gonna go to last. All right. So I'm gonna look for last. Okay. So we're gonna go to last. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna look for stocks between 20 cents and $30. Okay, volume Again, I'm gonna have it be at 300,000 shares. Now, you can make it lower if you want to find even plays even faster. All right, you can do this of 200,000 shares or 100,000 shares. All right, which is fine, you know. But I like to use the 300,000 shares. No max. Okay, and then the percentage change. All right, obviously it's gapping down. All right, you're looking for stocks that are gapping down. All right, so you can look for stocks that are, instead of gapping up, you can say negative, like negative, instead of positive 1.34, you can say negative 1.50. All right, and no max. Okay, now again, we're going to go to study filter, and we're going to click on this drop down, and we're going to go straight to price performance, and we're going to go to price direction. Okay, and we're going to say the close has decreased over the last 2 candles. All right, on the 1 minute chart. Okay, and we're going to hit save. All right, now to pull that scanner over here again, you click on the little plus. You go to where it says watch list. You're going to click on this drop down here. You're going to go to personal, and you're going to go to where it says 2 candle dip buy scan. All right, and these are all the scans that you're going to see that are dropping in price. All right, and you go to charts, and you just make sure it's linked. So you go red because this is red, and you click and you watch, you know, and then you get a list of stocks here that would have applied to this. Like this is a stock that would have appeared, boom, right at the open, right at the close of this stock would have popped up on your scanner right here, and you could have watched it short, or you could have watched. Remember what I talked about dip buying? This is a perfect example of dip buying, where a stock sells off. Right, you see this thing gapped up at the open, and then it comes back down, and then what it does, it finds its support level here, and then as soon as you see it start bouncing, you're like, okay, I'm gonna buy because I see it start bouncing, and you ride it up. Okay, you ride it up, and that's a dip buy, where a lot of stocks are like rubber bands. When they go up really quickly or in price, or they sell off really quickly in price, they usually have a bounce. Not always, but a lot of people do this. They have their little bounces here. All right. So with that said, okay, that's another scan. So these are the 3 primary scans that I use, but there are a couple of others that I use. I have another scan called low float scan, meaning float means the number of shares that are tradable on the market. So what constitutes a low float stock? A stock generally, for me, stocks that have 10 million shares or less, 10 million or less tradable shares on the market, which means when you have a stock like you know, that has a low float, the ranges, they move a lot faster in price. So they gap up and they sell off a lot quicker. So there's more volatility, and you can make more money because the stocks move a lot faster. So in order to pull a stock, so in order to build that criteria, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to go to load, I'm going to go to create scan query, and I'm going to call this low float scan. Okay, and in there I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to last. Okay, I'm going to go to 20 cents, and I'm going to go to $30. All right, and I'm also going to go volume. Again, I'm gonna keep this with the same 500,000 shares. Okay, no max. Change, I'm gonna put this up 5%. You can make this, you know, however you want. All right, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add another one for filter, and I'm gonna look for shares. Shares equates to float. It's the same thing. So here I'm gonna put the minimum 0, the max I'm gonna put 10 million. Oops, let me delete all that. Let's see, 10 million. Yep. So now that is what considers low float. So any stocks that are moving within this criteria, oops, it says $20, 20 cents. Sorry about that, guys. 20 cents and $30 that have 10 million tradable shares on the market or less will appear on the scanner when there's something running. So I'm gonna hit save, and if I wanted to pull that up, I can add another. I can add another one. If I wanted to add one more, I can go here, and I can go to watch list, and I can go here, and I can go to personal, and I can do low float scan. And look, these are low float scans. All right, these are scans that have 10 million tradable shares or less. And if I want to pull those stocks up, CLBS, look at this. This thing gap. This is a pre-market right here, and it completely just collapsed. Okay, it just completely collapsed. Now there's another thing that I didn't add that I should add, to be honest with you guys. Another thing that's kind of cool that you should add, because you can kind of catch these sometimes pre-market, is it and I should do it for all, and I forgot to kind of add it. If I go back to scan, so this is a good opportunity to teach you how to like modify your scan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna go load, right? And I'm gonna go to person. I'm gonna go back to low float scan. And another thing we should probably add is what's called the mark. So I'm gonna go back to add stock filter, and I'm gonna put something called the mark. All right, and I'm gonna move, and I'll fix that over here, but I'm gonna do the same thing. The mark is gonna be between 20 cents and $30. The reason why you want to add the mark, and I'm gonna just hit save, and once I add that, I'm just gonna come here, and I'm gonna hit save, and then I'm just gonna save it over there. So it's gonna say low float scan already exists. Are you sure you want to rewrite it? Yes. Now the reason why, and I'll just kind of just like take this out, and then you can just like refresh it by going back, and then going back to personal and just reloading it. All right, so it doesn't pop up, but I'll show you. I'll show you how you can modify to have whatever you want here. So if you right click on this and you go to customize, you can go right here to a column and you can add mark. And you should probably add mark for everything. And you add mark, and you see, and what I like to do is I like to move the mark up. And I like to have mark next to last. And then what I like to get, I don't care about the net change or the bid and ask from here, because I can see that on level 2. So bid, ask, I'm going to remove, I'm going to hit OK, and I have the slash volume mark, the thing, oh, I forgot volume. So, alright, just right click, go back to customize, and I go to volume, because you need to know the volume. That's super important when you're looking at these. So, even though you add these on your actual scan here, they're not going to pull here. You have to modify these here. So I added the volume, and I also want to add the percentage change. So I want to just do, here it is, change percentage. So I'm going to add that, add item, and then you can move these up and down however you want. I like to have the mark, the volume next to it, volume, and then the change, and then the strength meter. And then I hit OK, and now you see you have last, mark, volume, change percentage. The reason why is because as soon as the market closes, like if the stock moves after hours, it's not going to be reflected in the last. The mark will show you like the price of the stock before market and after market. So for example, if you look at Delt, you see it says mark 160, last 158. 158 means at 4 o'clock, that's what it closed, but it actually went up 2 more cents after hours. So you see this gray here, this reflects after hours, and you see this was the close price. And then right here, it moved up 2 more cents. It actually went up to 164 and then back down. So that's what mark does. So you should at least for low float scan, because you can catch these moving before the market, and you can actually add the mark to all of your things. So you would literally have to do it to each one. So you have to go here if you want to modify these each one. You would have to go in. You would have to right click on this here, go to customize, and then kind of fix this. I usually get rid of the bid, I get rid of the ask, I get rid of the net change, and then what I do here is I'll add the percentage change, I'll add the mark, and you can even add the mark change, because you can see how much it moved after hours, the percentage as well, if you wanted to do that. But I'm going to do an after hours scan. I'll show you in a second. Mark, and then I like to add volume. So I just type volume, there's volume, and I add that. And then I just move these around. So this, so symbol, last, I'll put the mark up, all right, and then I'll put the volume next to that, and then I'll put the change and strength meter, and I hit OK. All right, and that's how you can kind of fix these. That's how I like it to look, each one. All right, you can do each one, but I'm not done with my scans. Let me show you a couple of more scans I like to do. So I like to do also and an after hours sort of scan. So what I like to do for that, it's sort of the same. It's the same criteria as a lot of my other scans. So I'm gonna go to load. I'm gonna go create a scan query, and I'm gonna call this after hours scan. And again, I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to last. Same criteria, 20 cents and $30. Okay, volume again, 500,000. All right, no max. The change is gonna be 5%. Sorry guys, I know that's an annoying sound. 5%, no max. Now this is where I get my after hours. So you go, and I think it's, oh yeah, add study filter. I'm gonna go back to my favorite price performance, and then you're gonna see something that's gonna say after hours percentage change. So you're gonna go there, and you're gonna see after hours percentage change. So it's gonna say the close has moved greater than 1% in after hours trading on the 1 minute chart. That's exactly what I want. So you can see stocks that are continuing to gap up after the close of the market that fall into this criteria. And if you want to see the percentage of how much they changed, you can go to add stock filter. You can go, oops, let's delete that. Sorry. Add stock filter right here. Add filter for stock, sorry. And then go to mark, let me see. Mark, I don't see it here. Mark cap, market, make it mover. You know what? It's fine. That's okay. I'm gonna delete that. I'll show you how you can add it here. So, so what you're gonna do is once you have, oops, did I mess this up? It looks like I deleted it. Oops, I made a mistake. Sorry guys. So let me go back. Study filter, price performance, after hours percentage change. The close has moved greater than 1% in after hours trading on the 1 minute chart. I'm gonna hit save. Okay, now if I wanted to pull that up, let's say I go here, and you know I can look for it. So here it should be after hours scan. There it is. Now, if you want to see, you see how it has the last, but you see the mark change. So if I go to charts and I click it, there you go. You see, look, this is after hours. So this stock has continued to gap up after hours. See here, the mark in the last is the same. That means it didn't move after hours, all right? Or it may have moved a little bit, nothing. Yeah, so this little thing here, really it's nothing. Same thing here. Sometimes you'll see big moves. Here you go. There's a bigger move right there. Nothing. It has this little dot here. This was this one little trade that happened after hours. Sometimes you'll see big gaps. Sometimes you'll see little gaps. CERU is the only one that really moved Friday after hours. Okay, according to the criteria on this list. Now, there could be other stocks, remember, because this is only looking for stocks between 20 cents and $30. But if your range is bigger, maybe you have stocks in the, that are in the 500 range, $1,000 range. It's probably a lot of stocks moving after hours, the big names, the big boy stocks, but nothing in our criteria. So that's the after hours scan. Now, what you can do here is what I wanted to do, what I couldn't do in the other screen, is you go to customize, and you can type mark, and you can say mark percentage. Okay, I couldn't find it. Maybe it was there, I just couldn't find it. So you can add that item, and then you can move that up to right next to percentage change, and then hit OK. And then you can see, so, sometimes you gotta zoom this out a little bit, but you're gonna see, look, like CERU after hours moved up 2.41%. That's why it's cool to have that there. All right, and obviously you can only add up, a certain amount of filters. If you want to be able to add more filters, you gotta like drag this up so you can, so you're gonna see a couple of plays. So this is why you can keep building and adding all your scanners. If you want to do that, you can do that as well. And then what's cool about the strength meter is when you click on this filter, the strength meter means that the price is gapping up, and when you see it red, so the red, that means the price is gapping down, all right? And sideways means it's just sideways over. So that way, a lot of times I like to use this when I'm looking at like my 2 candle gap scanner. I'm clicking on this and I want to focus on the green to see stocks that are moving up. If I'm looking at the 2 candle dip buy scan, I'm clicking on the strength meter and I'm looking for red because I want to see stocks that are going down in price. All right, and then after hours, just an after hour scan, so I could just see what's there, and I just click. Sometimes I'll find after hour plays. Okay, so these are like the big ones that I like to use. I like to use nightly scan, which I find the majority of my plays, to be honest with you, and my watch list. The two candle gap scan that's going up, the two candle dip buy scan, the after hour scan, and I'm trying to think of if I'm forgetting any other scan. Oh, like a new high scan. But there's thinkorswim doesn't really have a way to really, at least I don't know, but a real theoretical new high scan. But let's see if we can mess with one here. So we're gonna come here again. We're gonna go to load. We're gonna go to create scan query, and we're gonna call this new high scan. Okay, and again, same criteria for me. I like to do again last. Oops, let's go to last. All right, which is again, the criteria is gonna be 20 cents to $30. Again, 500,000 shares. No max. Change up 5%. No max. And then I'm going to go down to add study filter, and I'm going to come down and go to price performance, and I'm going to go near high. I think it's what, near high lows or high lows, and the current price is 30 periods higher on the 1 minute chart. And then you also have the high lows, and you also have this other one which is near high lows, so you can kind of see it where it's kind of going. So the current price is within 3% of a 252 period high, so you can kind of see it as it's getting to its height. You can do that as well, so you got to play around with this. I'm gonna use the other one though. I'm gonna do high lows, and the current price is 30 period high or high low. You can do high low if you want, but I just want it near the high. And I'm gonna shut down the period, just so I'll probably do let's do 14 period. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave it at 30. But you can play around with this. And I want to include after hours. That's what the extended hours. That's what it means on the 1 minute chart, because I like to find things. It's not perfect, but that's what I kind of use. So I hit save. All right, and then obviously you want to scan. You have 3 stocks that only appear on that scan right now. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong scan. Oops, sorry about that, guys. So I go to new high scan, and I pull up, and here we get 22 plays on that. Okay, and if you remember, if you want to pull that up, you go here, you go to watch list, and you got to go to personal, and then you go to new high scan, and there it is. And then you can modify this. So if you don't like the way this looks, remember, just click anywhere here, go to customize. I like to get rid of the bid and the ask, because I see that on level 2. I like to get rid of the net change. I can care less about that. I want percentage change. I want volume. And I want a percentage change, last, volume, and what am I missing? No, I think I'm good here. Yeah, this is good. So I'll put the volume up, percentage up. Yeah. And you can add other things too if you want as well. You can add the 52-week high and low if you wanted to do that. You can add a million different things here if you want. All right. I like to keep things simple. So I hit OK, and there we go. Last, volume, percentage change, and I have the strength meter. And remember, you gotta always have the link in order for you to pull up the chart. And here you go. You can click the chart, and you get a sense of what are the highs and the lows. There we go. Here's a stock that's holding its highs. This is a stock that will absolutely be on my watch list. Love stocks that hold their highs. Look at this. This thing ripped, and then it just sold off, wash. That's why I love shorting, because you just watch this collapse and you short into the washout. It's a stock that held its high. So these are the stocks that are appearing here. All right. Look, after hours, NAK pulled up here. The reason why we didn't see it in the other after hours scan, because it probably didn't fit the criteria. All right. But things here come up now. If you wanna kind of check, you can always add the mark here. So that's how you know if something's moving after hours. I can go back to customize, and I can type mark, and I can add that item, and I can put the mark next to here. So if I'm looking again after hours, I can see. So here you go. So these stocks, most of these closed at the same, but this one stock, you see, it's up 3 cents after hours. That's how you know. All right. So that's and then so that's my new high scan. So this is basically what I use to find my plays. Okay, for the most part. The only one that I'm missing here is that low float one. So remember, you can go here and you go to watch list, and you come here and you go to personal, and then I'm gonna look for low float. Yep. So I got the nightly scan, the two candle gap scanner up, the dip scan, the after hour scan, the new high scan, the low float scan. These are the scans that I primarily use to find my plays. To be quite honest with you guys. All right, these are the ones that I primarily use. And basically what I do each night is, I run my scan, my nightly scan. I go to load, I go to personal, I go to nightly scan, which is the same scan I use to find my plays when the market opens. Don't get it confused. And then I just go through this list, and I go through here, and I just literally click, like this is NAK would be a stock that's going to be on my watch list because it closed holding its highs. And I just go through each stock one at a time. Like AVID is going to be on my watch list. Look at this, it's been gapped up. And look at this, FTD, another stock that closed holding its highs. The reason why these stocks, well, look at this, MIMMR, look, there's a stock that closed holding its highs. Doesn't have a lot of volume, but it caught some volume here at the end, and because of that, I probably would still put it on my watch list. And the rationale behind that is stocks that close holding their highs are more than likely going to be volatile, because you're thinking like, well, what are other stock traders looking at? They're looking at the same thing. They're looking for stocks that are going to be volatile. All right. So that's how this works. So now, all right, phase one was teaching you guys how to build scanners. Phase two is now showing you how to build the indicators. All right. Now, what I like to do is I like to look at charts. I like to look at two charts, the 1 and the 5 minute. And the way that works is over here to your right, you see how you have this little square here? This is a window that allows you to see multiple time frames, multiple windows. So you come here and you can add as many windows as you need. All I really do is look at 2 windows. So I come here and I put 2. But you don't see anything here right now, right? Why? Because it's not linked. So if I could link it to red, it'll open up that chart. All right, so now I have 2 charts here. All right, the 1 minute, and this says the daily. Now here's where you can kind of like come in and you can modify the time frames that you like to look at, and you can go to style, and you can go to today, and you can look at the 1, 5, 10 minute, hourly, custom. You can go to week to day, on 1 day, the 2 day, the 5 day. You can make this as whatever you like. All right. What I'm gonna focus on right now is first building my my indicators. So to do that, you go to this edit studies button, okay? And here is where you kind of like, you have strategies and sets and all this other stuff. All I focus on is studies, all right? Now, what I like to do is on the 1 minute chart, I like to use the exponential moving averages, which are the 9 and 20 EMA. So I'm just gonna type EXP, and you're gonna see something that's gonna say X moving average exponential. So I click that. I'm actually gonna click it twice because I'm gonna modify 2. Now you're gonna say, well, Mo, why do you use 2? Because honestly, that seems to be the favorite, one of the favorites between traders. Like they use it. So I like to use whatever other traders are doing, because this is how you get a sense of what other traders are looking at. All right. So with that said, all right, I'm gonna go into each one and modify this. So here's the 9. Okay. Now I'm keeping this black, but if you changed your grid to white, you can make this white if you wanted to. I'm not going to, because in order for me to do it, I would have to go in an area where it's going to show you my account number. So I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to keep this black just for the sake of this. But when you see when I do my nightly videos, this is actually white. And it's personal preference. You can do whatever you want. I used to have it black, now I have it white. I like white for whatever reason. It's just clear. It just pops more to me. So with that said, this is the 9 EMA. This is the one that I like to use on the 1 minute chart. Okay. And what you can do is you can make this whatever color you want. So you can change the color by going here and going to more if you want, and pick whatever color you like. Okay. And you can change the drawing, and you can change the style. You can whatever you want. I just like to keep it as is. You don't need to worry about any of this other stuff. All right. So I'm gonna keep the 9 EMA, and I'm gonna keep it this color. That's fine with me. So I'm gonna hit OK. And now I'm going to go to this next one, and I'm going to make this the 20 EMA. And if you don't know what EMAs are, go to YouTube, watch a video, Google it, guys. You're gonna have to study, all right? But exponential moving averages, we have a video on it actually. Lucian did a great video explaining what it is. But basically, it's just a way to follow a trend to see if a stock candle is in front of the EMA, that means it may more likely trend upward. If it's below it, it's gonna trend downward. That's all it basically in a nutshell it is. All right, so I'm gonna change this color, obviously, because it can't have both being the same color. And I'm gonna make this, let's say, red. Okay, you make it whatever color you want. All right. Now, those are the two EMAs that I use on the 1 minute chart. The next one that I'm gonna add here is VWAP, which I think is, to me, my favorite indicator. So I'm gonna add VWAP here. And with VWAP, you gotta mess around with it in order for it to look the way you want. So when you go into VWAP, you have this VWAP upper band, lower band. Get rid of the upper band and lower band, not necessary. So get rid of the upper band, go. So I clicked on upper band and I just deselected these three. On the lower band, I'm gonna deselect these three. And in VWAP, I'm gonna change this color and I'm gonna make it green because I like green for VWAP for whatever reason. And I'm gonna hit OK. So now I got my three upper indicators. The other one that I like to use sometimes, if you want, you'll see me use it from time to time, is the parabolic SAR. So I just spelled para, P-A-R-A. I'm gonna click parabolic SAR. And I'm gonna go into it and I'm gonna change the color. I'm gonna leave everything else the same. I'm just gonna make this white because I got a black screen and it can pop when it's white. So those are the four upper indicators that I like to use. All right. Now on the volume is defaulted, so I'm gonna leave that as is. And then we're gonna do some lower indicators. So a couple of the lower ones I like to use is the RSI. So I'm gonna do the RSI here, okay, and I'm gonna go in there. And I'm going to change this. So you have two options here for colors. You have oversold and overbought. So for oversold, I like to make this red because when a stock is oversold, it means that it's going to pull back generally. And red is like a caution for sell in my brain. That's why I like to make it red. And then overbought, I'm going to make this green because when a stock has been I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I always confuse this. Oversold should be green because when a stock is oversold, that means that it's gonna, it should bounce up. And when it's overbought, that means that it's gonna pull back and sell off. So this should be red. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna pick a red color, like a little more red. There you go. All right, and and then normal. This is the normal color. So here again, I'm gonna make this for overbought. I'm gonna make this red, which is fine, but I want it to be actually redder, so I'm gonna make this more red. And for oversold, I'm gonna make this green, which is fine. So I'm gonna hit OK, and that should be good. Next up, so the RSI is a lower indicator that I like to use. Another one that I like to use is the MACD, which is my favorite one. So I'm gonna go to MACD, and I'm gonna add selected, and I'm gonna go into that by double clicking on it like I've done the others. And I'm going to change this. I may have to look at this a bit before I do this. I think value I want green. We'll see when I finish this. I may change this. And the average, I want red. I may change this. We'll see what it looks like once I'm done. And I'll explain in a minute why that matters. And then the differential and the zero line, I'm going to leave as is. All right. And then the only other one that I like to use is the TTM squeeze. So I'm gonna write TTM, and I'm gonna look for that TTM squeeze. I'm gonna add selected. Now this I do not modify in any respect. I leave it as is. The way it is, I'm gonna leave it. All right, you can kind of change these colors if you want. I'm accustomed to how it is, so I'm gonna just leave it as it is. All right, but you can change those colors. Now, once you're done with that, okay. So these are all my indicators. You're gonna hit Save Set As, and you can give it a name. I'm gonna call this, day trade indicator. Okay. All right, I'm gonna hit save. When I hit save, all right, I'm gonna hit OK, and boom, now you're gonna see your indicators. And I actually did it right. Yeah, the green is over the red. So the way I did it is right. And the reason why these matter is just so you see when you're looking at a chart. Now look at something that was a little more, that moved a bit more. Let's go back up to the top. Let's look at, for example, okay, here it is. So you see how you see how when the market opened, you see this dots? This is that parabolic SAR, okay? The 9 and 20 EMAs are here. So this is the 9 EMA. This is the red's the 20. This is VWAP. So VWAP is volume weighted average price. When you get a volume push here and you see the MACD, you see right here pre-market, the green was over the red, which is a bearish sign. But you see as the market opens, it's kind of finding what it wants to do. And about right here, 933, you get a volume push and a sell-off. But it's above the 9 EMA and the 20 EMA and VWAP. So those are all bullish signs. And you see these dots? When the dots are below the candles, that's a sign that the stock price is going to go up, all right? There's no guarantees that it's it, but that's what that means, all right? When it's above it, like it is here, when the dots are, that means that it's going to sell off, all right? That's what those indicators tell you. Now, the thing that I love most about these indicators is this MACD 2 lines. When you see the green go over the red and you see the more spacing there is, the more that's a sign that the price of the stock is going to go up. That's a strong buy sign. Same thing with the TTM squeeze. When you see this light blue, that means that it's a super strong buy sign. And you see all these signals are to buy. So if you're watching this, you're kind of riding this up. And when the green starts to curl and the green goes below the red like this, the way we had it set up, it's a sell sign. You see it kind of sells off. And you see that squeeze happen and it kind of like loses. So when it goes from light blue, which is the strongest indicator, to dark blue, that means it's starting to sell off. And when it goes from light blue from red to yellow, from dark blue to red, that means red is like selling pressure and yellow is like it's still like selling, but it's starting to build momentum again. And that light blue means that it's a buy sign. So, you know, these are all signals that help, but the MACD lines to me are the most, that's the biggest signal that of a confirmation of what a stock is going to do. So when that green goes over the red, you see how it's bearish, and you see the strength here, and you see what happens. It kind of continues to stay green over red, and if you look at it, what happens? It freaking collapses. And look at the spacing between the red and the green. That's a very, very bearish sign. And when you get that green go over the red like this, that's a bullish sign. That means the stock price is going to go up. It goes up barely, but that's what that means. And that's what these indicators help you to do. It kind of helps you figure out the stock price, whether it's going to go up and down. But the best indicators are always the chart patterns. So you get this like kind of bull flag here, and you see you get this little flag here, forms up, and it consolidates. Once you get a bull flag like this, you're usually going to get another push. And generally you get two pushes before a sell-off. So that's how that works. And I'm looking at the 1 minute time frame here. What I like to have is usually I like the 2 day 1 minute, right? I like to have that. And on this side, I usually have the 5 day 5 minute, just like this. All right. And then if I want to add those indicators here, I go right here to studies, and I just go to add study. I go to load study, and I go to day trade indicator, the one I created, and here you go. And here you have the 5 day 5 minute chart. Now, let's say you're studying the charts and you're like, I just want to get rid of this for a second. You can go to studies, and you can just go to remove all studies. And on that specific chart, now you don't have any studies. Sometimes on the 5 minute, I like to go here, and I like to put a completely different study. I like to do the EMA, but instead of the, I'm going to type X, the exponential moving average. But instead of using the 9 and 20 on the 5 minute, I like to use sometimes the 13 EMA. It's just, the reason why I add it, I hit new instead. I should add select. The reason why I add it is just so, just because it's just something that other traders use. That's all. That's it. That's the only thing. And then I'll keep it this color. And then on the 5 minute, I'll add that, and then I'll add, so I just like to keep it a little cleaner on the 5 minute. Just so I don't have all that stuff on the screen. Sometimes it's hard to kind of get a sense of what a stock is doing. You have too much stuff on it. So, you know, I use VWAP on the 5 as well. So I'm going to add selected. And again, you got to go to the upper band. And, upper band, remove these. And on the lower band, you can remove these as well. And I go to VWAP. And I go here. And I hit OK. So I got these two. The 13 EMA, VWAP. And then on the lower, if you want, you can just do like, you know, I'll do the, I always like to have the RSI, so I can go to RSI, And again, I can do the same things that I did before. So oversold, so I make this green. Overbought, I make this red. So I'm gonna go to more. I like that red to pop for me. And I hit OK. And then I add and maybe just because I like to not add too much stuff, I'll do the MACD. Okay, and I'll do the same add selected. I'll go in, and then here on volume, I'm gonna make this. I think this was green. On average, I'm gonna make this red. So let's go here. Let's get red. Okay, hit OK, and I'm gonna save set as, and I'm gonna call this 5 minute indicator. 5-minute indicator. Save, and I'm gonna hit OK, and then I can load that if I want. It's actually loaded here already. Now, one thing you're gonna notice here is you see the volume here, and this is probably because I had it defaulted in. There's a couple of things you want to definitely make sure. You see how the volume here is blue, and here it's green and red. There was a couple of things I needed. I probably didn't remove in preparation of this, but there's a couple of other things you want to add here. So you're gonna always want to go here. All you need to do is once you go into this little cog, one of the two things you want to do is you want to make sure that if this overlap volume is not selected. So on the 5-minute chart, it probably is. It's actually not selected as well. All right, so you want to synchronize your drawings. That's one of the first things you want to do. So make sure that this button is selected. If it's unselected, select it so that you synchronize your drawings on your two charts. You also want to make sure when you go to appearance, you want to go to appearance and you want to make sure that you have these checked off. So fill down on the ticks. You want to make sure it says candle, and then here where it says volume bars, you want to click on, you want to make sure that it says color as symbol ticks. You want to make sure that is selected. And then what you want to do is you want to hit apply and hit OK. And now you should do it. Now you have to do it also here on the 5-minute. So you come here and you're going to go to appearance, and I'm going to click this, fill up. I'm going to go to volume bars, color as symbol ticks selected, and now you can change your background for me too if you want to make this white. This is one way. Actually, I can show you from this way. This is another way to do your background change. I'll show you. Well, first let me hit apply and then hit OK. Now you see the volume is there. So green means volume going up. Red means the selling pressure. So buying pressure, selling pressure. Now there's 1,000 ways to actually change the entire color of this. If you want to change the entire color, right above this investment tools, there's a setup button where you can go to look and feel and change the entire color of everything in the background. I'm not going to click that button and show you because it will actually show my account number, which I don't want to do. But another way to do this, if you want to change the look and feel, is you can go to this little cog. You can go to where it says options not options, appearance, and you can change the background here. Like, so you want to make it white, you can click white, hit apply, hit OK, and now it's white. Okay, and this is black, this is white. If you want to revert it, you want to revert it back or make it another color, you can click on the cog. You can go again back to appearance, and you can make this whatever color you want. There's a million colors you make this. Let's say you want, I don't know, maybe you want it blue because you're just wild and crazy. Hit apply, and now it's blue. All right, you can make this whatever color. You can do the same to the 5. All right, so all right, for me for today, I'm just gonna leave this black. So I'm gonna go back to appearance, and I'm gonna change this to black, and I'm gonna hit apply, hit OK, and that's actually extra black. This is like a lighter black. So what we had was a lighter black. If I want to make that extra black, I go here as well, and I go to appearance, and I go to black, and I'm gonna make this extra black, and I'm gonna hit apply, hit OK, and now it really pops. All right, now you're gonna say one more, can I just save this so that every time I come in I can pull up this grid? You can. So if you go right here, it's back to this grid thing. You see where it says save grid as? So you're gonna name this, and you're gonna enter the name of the grid. So I'm gonna call this 1-minute/5-minute grid. You can name it whatever you want, who cares? And now hit save. Now watch this, because what happens is when, let's say, right, I move this and I go to a 1 chart grid. You see how you can make this as many as you want? But once I switch this up, look what happens. If I go back to that 2 grid, guess what? Now everything that I did is gone. So that's the downside of it. But because we saved our grid, we can just pull our grid back up. So if you go back to this little grid thing, go to right here, the 1 minute, 5 minute grid. It's gonna say this grid is being loaded, contains change chart data, will affect the charts, blah 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 blah. Say yes, and look what happens. Boom, it pulls up that grid that we just saved. So you can save, you can create multiple grids that have multiple pieces of information, and the system will remember it. All right. So this is how I build my scanners. This is kind of how I find my plays. All right, and there's more things here. You know, you have the trade buttons, and you can kind of modify these as well and save it with your grid. So what I like to do as well, without getting into a ton of detail, is you can click this little cog, and I love to have these buttons here on my a set here, so I can go buy on the ask, buy on the bid. I'm gonna add those two, and I'm gonna move those up. Buy on the ask, buy on the bid. Oops. I'm gonna remove that. I'm gonna remove sell market. I'm gonna keep cancel, reverse, flatten, and then I'm gonna go down and look for sell the bid and sell the ask, and I'm gonna move those up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just hit OK, and now you have those buttons there, which is really, really cool. So if you're gonna make a trade, like you click on that drop down, you can actually have it defaulted. You can save this to have a quantity. You have to go to your setup to do that. You can't do it from here. You gotta go into the setup button, which I'm not gonna go into because it will show my account number. But you can go in there and you can set this up so that it has a quantity defaulted in. Now, if you want this to stay this way permanently, you go back to that grid and you're just gonna hit save grid as and just save it with the same information. Hit save, and boom, it's gonna save like that. So now watch, if I go here and I just change this, okay, and let's go to one chart like that and get rid of this. Now if I go back and I load it, so here it is, here's the one that I loaded. I'm gonna say yes. Now watch, when I go here, you see every time I click trade, it's gonna by default pull up what I saved as. All right, which is very cool. So it saves all that, and then you can have, you know, your level 2 setup and your time and sales setup. So you can have all that stuff, and then you can move this down and up. So you know you can customize this. So you can move this down if you don't want it to up, and you can move this over, and you can move this up. So you can like play around with all this stuff, you know. And then you just unselect it, and you can do that. There's a lot more things you can do with thinkorswim too. You can create like triggers and all that stuff, but I can't do that because then it's gonna show my account number. And you can go watch other videos that'll show you how to do that. So that's basically what I do with these stuff, guys. So, you know, again, this is how you remember, you got your colors match, and you can just click on a chart and it pulls up the chart real quickly. It's the 5 day 5 minute, but you can load these. Oh, you can also create your time frame. So if you want custom time frames, you can go here to quick time frames and you can change this around. So, you know, let's say you know, I have it already set up already, but you can kind of modify these. So let's say you want like a, I don't know, you can only save a certain amount. I think you can only save like 10. So let's say I don't care about the year, 3 year, weekly, I can hit delete. And if I want to add a time frame, let's say I want to do like add a time frame. So let's say I want to do I don't know, let's say like a year to date time frame. I can select that and I can hit add and I can hit OK, and now when I want to quickly get to a time frame, I can go to that year to date, and what it does, it pulls the stock year to date. All right, and this is the year to date, so this is from January, and you can see the date up there, January 3rd, and each day you can see what it did. Now again, if you want a clean look, like, oh, those indicators, you know, they're driving me crazy, if you want, remember, you can always go in and you can just remove something temporarily. You can just hit, you can like X this out, like if you don't want to see the parabolic, hit apply, hit OK, and now you're seeing everything without the dot. Sometimes I do that, you know. And then if you want to reload it, you just go here, I'm sorry, you just go back to studies and just go to load study, and then you just, you know, load the study. There it is, and now it's back. All right, and it'll load whatever you want. So that's pretty much how I use this stuff. All right, and to find my plays, to find, you know, my stock plays, and I just click, and it's real simple and easy. All right, I'm gonna make another video later on showing you, looking for, you know, building my watch list for for Monday, okay? And we'll just go through the charts and we'll try to find plays. Like CERU will definitely be on my watch list for Monday, okay? All right. Okay. So with that said, now if what, well, I'll go into another video. But with that said, hopefully you found this useful. Probably saved you a tremendous amount of time. Hopefully, and hopefully this all makes sense. All right, folks. So see you in Facebook and in the chat room and all that good stuff. Have a good one.